Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Joy, Creativity and Life Purpose Specialist. And here I am with you for day 18 of Change Your Life in 30 Days. Day 18. We are moving through this transformative month of April at a rapid pace. At least that's what it feels like for me. Day 18 is all about intuition. And as I've mentioned in the past, you can jump into this Change Your Life conversation, these videos at any time, or you can search on past videos and check out the information, or start on day 1 or start on day 8, start on day 18. Doesn't matter. Just join us. Hello to Carrie Ann. Hi, glad you could join me today. I had a client this morning, so I'm a little... I usually like to do it in the hour before now, but had a client, so I'm happy to be here now. And Carrie Ann, you jumped up right at the beginning of Change Your Life in 30 Days today. We're right at the beginning. Today we're talking about intuition. And just so you know, the book Change Your Life in 30 Days is written by RHONDA BRITTEN. She is a pioneer life coach in this country, was voted America's favorite life coach. She was the first life coach on TV. Actually, she started out in the UK before she came to the US. And, well, she's from the US, but her first show was on in the UK. And now she's on she was on in the US on Starting Over, and also on Celebrity Fit Club on VH1 for a little while. So, anyway, I wanted to introduce you to her if you're new. Because she's going to be talking about her views on intuition today, and they align very closely with mine as well. So I just wanted to make sure you knew she's legit. She's done her work. She's been life coaching for like 30 years. It's crazy. And we're going to talk about intuition. So first of all, though, I wanted to ask you to ask yourself, what does intuition mean to you? When you say intuition, what does it mean? Your own definition. What does intuition mean? And then I also want you to sort of check in with yourself on how often do I listen to my intuition? Or maybe it's, I don't even have, like, I don't think I have intuition. I don't know what you're talking about when you say intuition. It might be that as well. But if you do feel like you have access to your intuition, how often are you checking in or being guided by it? Now, for me, it's really interesting because for me, intuition is a knowingness. So when I work with my clients, one of the first questions that we touch base on in our first session or two is, how do you know something? How do you know something to be true for you? Where do you feel that knowingness in your body? Where do you feel it? Or maybe it's not even a knowingness in your body. It's just this clear voice or this snippet, this image that you get. So what is intuition for you? What is intuition? One of the things when people get talking about intuition is that intuition can, well, let me back up a little. We can also have these gut feelings, which I believe is part of intuition as well. They're one and the same. They're all part of the same system. Yet I know that some people can go, oh, I felt in my gut like I shouldn't go down that alley. I shouldn't leave my house today. I could feel it in my gut. And it's this knowingness. And there's also this bit of, I'm not going to say fear, but there's a hesitation. That knowingness can come with a hesitation sometimes. Now's not the right time. That's not right for me. That knowingness is very different from fear. And RHONDA talks in this chapter about the voice of fear. So we're going to talk for a moment about what is the difference between the voice of fear versus your intuition, your knowingness. So first of all, fear really, really relies a lot on you should do this. You need to do this. There's that desperate, clingy need feeling that we talked about several days ago when we talked about regrets. I can't remember what day it is, but the title was Regrets. And as we talked about regrets, we talked about need and that desperate need and those shoulds. I should do this, I should do that, and that energy that gets muddy and murky and clingy and clutching and desperate, right? So that is fear. When you hear something that is accompanied with that feeling, that should, that need, I have to do this, it's the voice of fear. So again, that's different from, oh wow, going down that alley right now doesn't feel right for me. That's a knowingness versus, oh my gosh, if I do that, I think I'll fail and it's going to be terrible and people will laugh at me, right? Totally different energies of, that's not right, versus this fear response that happens in the body, this energy of fear and resistance and hesitation. Fear can also come across as complaining sometimes. Oh my gosh, you don't want to do that. You're not good enough. There might be that element of judgment, right? That voice that's within that has that judgment mode. That's your voice of fear. Versus your intuition, which again might be, that's not right for me right now. It's more, your intuition is more of a discernment of, it's a yes, it's time to do this. No, it's not time to do that. And it's a discernment without that muddy, murky energy. It can be that this is right for me, that's not right for me, but it's not, I need to do that. I have to do that or I'm a loser. I don't want to do that because they'll reject me, right? That is fear. That is fear. Fear, the voice of fear can also make excuses. Can make a lot of excuses why you shouldn't be doing something, I just had someone talking about excuses around, I don't have the energy, I don't feel well. Can be legit, but that's not your intuition. If you're in that mode of, I just don't have the energy, I can't do it, I didn't sleep enough, right? That is very different than just going, I'm not up for this today. That simple stated knowingness and discernment. That is intuition. And then of course we can have that fun intuition, right? That's sort of, I'm talking about when something doesn't feel quite right. But we can have that fun intuition that just lights us on fire, right? I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, and me and my husband a couple weeks before had come up with a list of names. And I don't remember, he made his list, I made my list, and then we sat down together and vetoed certain names off the list. So we had one compiled list. And we weren't thinking about it a whole lot. We weren't in deep discussions. It was just we'd started the process. And then I went to get a massage one day, and while I was in my massage, the name Ella Rose popped into my head. Just popped into my head and hadn't been thinking about it. And there was this knowingness around it. So I went home from my massage, and I think my husband was working outside the home at that time. He's an author now, but I believe he was working in an office at that time. And he came home from work, and I said, I know the name. He's like, what? I said, Ella Rose. And he said, I had that name coming to me yesterday. That's her name, period. No doubt, no hesitation. It was so exciting. And it's so funny because she's 14 now. She actually doesn't believe that story. It seems too far-fetched. But it was both of us having this intuitive hit around her name. And that was it. So that was a fun one. That's exciting. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? But then there are those intuitive hits that can happen where you have that hit of knowingness, that hit of discernment, and then the fear hits. So it's very important to know that just because you have the intuitive hit and you know it's right or wrong, that you have that moment of certainty. That moment of certainty can fade because then fear can come in. Because then maybe your intuition is telling you to move outside your comfort zone, to do something that doesn't feel good as in comfortable to you. It might be the thing that's right for you. And again, right meaning not coming from a place of should or external demands, but the thing that feels like it's the right thing for you. And yet you have to do some uncomfortable things to get there. So I'll tell you a little example about this. And it goes to, can you tell I followed my intuition for some of my biggest decisions in my life, and I feel like it always led me in the right direction. And this was around my husband, and we were friends at the time. We were not dating yet. And yet I had this knowingness that we had to pursue our relationship. Like this, I wouldn't say it's like, oh my gosh, this person's my soulmate. I didn't have this big like opening from the heavens going, oh, this is your man. But I definitely had the knowingness, the deep intuition that we needed to check this relationship out. And I was in another relationship at the time. So I had to end that relationship. So I had the knowingness, and I avoided it for a while. I put it off. For a while, and I even had a discussion with my husband at one point and said, okay, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like we need to give this a go. And he agreed. Thankfully, that worked out well. He agreed. And I said, but I can't pursue it now. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. I can't do this. It's too uncomfortable. And he was like, okay, that's fine. So that was when I entered the fear zone. The fear of having to disappoint someone, of having to let someone down, of having to maybe break someone's heart. The uncomfortable feelings that was going to bring up for me and for the other person involved. It was totally out of my comfort zone. It's totally something I do not like doing. So I had the knowingness that I actually avoided for a long time because of the fear of causing myself and this other person discomfort. And then the fear came up, and it was about moving through the fear so that I could get to the point where I had this actual relationship, ended up marrying the guy. And what? It is 24 years later almost, and here we are. So, where is your voice of intuition? Where is your voice of fear? How are they different? How do you know the difference? And we talked about that earlier in this video, right? How do you know the difference between that knowingness and that fear? And understanding that fear could still come in. You can have that moment of knowingness, and then the self-doubt can come in. Then the fear can come in, and the confusion can come in. And not letting those fear responses get in the way of that knowingness and the knowing that you need to move into action. The knowingness that you need to be true to yourself and move forward. Because what's on the other side of that fear is success. It's freedom. It's love. It's relationships. It's family. It's prosperity. It's abundance. It's money. It's a new career. So please be willing to take that movement through the fear, to act on that intuition and move forward. So I hope this has been of use to you. As always, I love to be able to serve you, and just enjoy the opportunity to be in this group and hear your comments, hear your insights, and just have a conversation. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you again, and tomorrow we come back for day 19 of Change Your Life in 30 Days. Thank you so much for coming along on the ride with me. It's been really valuable to me, and I hope it's been of value to you. I'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day. Listen to your intuition and let that guide you today. Bye-bye.